Oh, there we go. Happy Sunday, everybody. I hope everyone is well. Let me know if you can hear me, see me. Hi, Juan and Adva and Shauna and Vanessa. Hi, Water Bear. Welcome to the community. Just a little black sage and a little rosemary. Just to make sure that we are doing all of our spiritual hygiene always, especially as we come into communities that are metaphysical, as we come into our own metaphysical understanding and our own gifts, and we're opening up our intuition. So I am just going to do the spiritual hygiene on camera as an example. Because with all the extra Pisces energy and just, again, lots of awakenings, lots of people coming into their intuition, their gifts, and not everyone knows how to work it. Not everyone knows how to create the spiritual hygiene so that you're not taking on other people's stuff, right? Could be even somebody that you love, but you're carrying around their stuff for them. So I'm going to call back all my power to me now from anyone using it with or without my permission. And I'm going to reject and release any energy that's not my highest good or just not mine to carry. And ask that any negative energy whatsoever around me that I accidentally absorbed, being sent to me, stunk, gets transmuted into connection with any of the beautiful humans that wander into this space, so they get the messages that they most need to hear today, and that I am as succinct and clear as possible with them. Hi, Rose. So first, let's talk about the astrology that we have going on now. And you know what? I am. Yeah. So today we have the moon in Leo. We have the moon in Leo and the sun in Aries, and within a couple hours, they'll be making a gorgeous trine, which is the I love you more conversation that planets make with each other in these warm, fiery signs. So subjects of passion can come up for you, whether that's internally or wanting to act on them. And that passion can be, what do I really want to be doing? You know, who am I excited to see? Who am I wanting to be with? Who do I want to say something to? Or it can be like frustration sometimes. But the wonderful thing is that if we know that's what's going to be the luminary energy of the day in that position, a trine is unrestricted flow. So if you had something you want to get done, you could have it prepared for that task to do it later, schedule it to do it later, or do it now and enjoy whatever, lovely, passionate, warm, cozy moments. This is also good for just self-advocating. The Aries sun loves to advocate, and the Leo moon loves to feel and give acknowledgement. And so tonight is on a Sunday, is a really good, or today, if you're overseas, it's already evening. It's a really good opportunity, like take a bath and give yourself some self-love, like get a sweet treat ready for yourself. I know there's, Taurus only has Uranus going on right now, but that Leo Aries moon, advocate for yourself, acknowledge yourself, do I am affirmations too. So it's a great time to do that. And obviously we have Mercury stationing. It will go direct tomorrow. So it can be a little problematic. So again, another reason to like do the heart-centered things today, to do the non-technology things to do today that you can do. And do them in a way where you're not waiting for anybody else. Don't clean the house and then be upset if no one else notices. Give yourself the acknowledgement, give yourself the reward. Don't wait for anyone else to do it. And Saturn and Venus are still together in Pisces, and Venus is in retrograde. They're also talking to the North Node and Mercury in retrograde. This is time to review. If something's not working, don't push it. Path of least resistance, and we are reevaluating what we value about what the dream look like, right? What the creative outlets look like, what the expressions of love, who we're giving that to, and also the non-tangible things that we value. So like communication, relationships, the mood in our home, the mood in our, like, what are we valuing in those non-tangibles that we need to re-look at and build new stability off of the idea that it's okay to review and pivot. Really. It's a really, the Jupiter is also in a trine with the sun, so in Aries, where it loves to be. So it really is a day to get things done, but maybe get things done that you have to like revisit, like, oh, I was going to go do that, and today would be a good day to do those things. Anything that you're like, we're going to do and you didn't do, today might be the day that you have the energy, and just don't wait for anyone else's acknowledgement to do that. Okay. Hi, Little John and Flower Peacock. You would love for me to do a show on how I develop my, well, amazing. Thank you. I mean, I think everybody's journey is so individual. Mine started when I was little and it scared me. So I asked for it to go away. I've talked about this in membership. We do a lot of stuff like that in membership, if I'm being honest, Flower Beauty, but I don't know that anybody wants to hear me talk about all the different experiences when I let it back in and when I had like my, you get more than one, like the third eye breaks back open. It's we all have I wouldn't want anybody to think that that's what their journey looks like. But sometimes we do like spiritual hygiene or have live streams talking about like how different gifts can come in and whatnot. Because I am a metaphysical practitioner as well as an astrologer, and it's all trauma informed. And that's important. So I don't want anybody comparing or getting anxiety. And there are people in the community who have like incredible psychic gifts, where they can pull names and do things that I cannot. So I just don't like to compare. I don't like to all of us break out our gifts and throw them on the table and take out a measuring stick, if you know what I mean. Okay, let's get into the 12 signs. And there, we went backwards last time. Should we go backwards or should we go regular Aries through Pisces? I think that we shall start regular. The regular, a lot of what I predicted came true. Thank you. I was telling one of my friends, my guilty pleasure is getting emails that are, the subject matter is "you were right" with an exclamation point. Just because I have it set with my guides that whatever I'm doing in people's highest goods, not ever to show off my prowess of what I can see. Sometimes we don't always say everything because if it's not in everybody's highest good, and if it's only going to give if it's only going to keep you from your own free will that would have been without then it's not then it's not helpful to somebody in their journey. It can actually set them backwards. Hey, Michael. Yeah, we do. Certain levels get I hate talking about membership here, but we have, which I probably should be doing that all the time, but it's like I don't. There's 4 levels. There's 4 levels. If you look at the join, it'll tell you all the different perks you get for the 4 levels. Once in a blue moon, I will do all levels free tarot questions, but there's 40 people. So, but the nerd and gratitude level members get once a month. They can ask me one question about their chart. Good morning, Kate. Good afternoon. They can ask me one question about their chart astrologically. I'm not going to look into a month's transits on a membership live, or they can ask me anything metaphysically. And a lot of times for whatever schedules, like not all 40 people show up even in that, but that's nerd and gratitude. Once in a while, then I will include like every other month or every 3rd month, I will include astro, and once on blue moon, I will do it for everybody. All right, I'm going to ask you to connect with everybody that's got Aries placements or whoever's here and just supposed to hear the message. Aries, Sun, Moon, Venus, you like it, I love it. If you got a ton of first house energy, sometimes if Mars is one of your final dispositors, ooh. We currently started the planet series. I'm just myth busting going through astrology so people have less fear around transits and whatnot. It's not classes so they become astrologer, but they are centering back to truth instead of misinformation pop astrology. Okay. Aries. This is so, not gonna lie, effing interesting. What your guides want you to know. I'm gonna let come up whatever comes up today. If it's a money message, if it's a big life message, if it's a love message, it'll be what it'll be. And today I have time to do extendeds. I might do that and put that in membership. That'll go in all levels. You have 6 of Swords. We have the 6 of Swords in reverse, 10 of Wands in the upright, and then there's the World in reverse and the Page of Swords. There was some place you were going or starting to do or wanting to do. There was some kind of movement, and it was a good movement. I have delay here. With the 10 of Wands, the 6 of Swords in reverse, it was like you were on journey to leave choppy waters for smoother waters. We all know what that means. Thank you, Juan. I want to sneeze a lot right now, and there's no reason for that. I don't know what that is. My eyes are starting to water. That is metaphysical for me. I don't have allergies. I'm not a person that has allergies like ever. So with the Six of Swords and the Ten of Wands here, there's something that you are carrying a burden. You try to go and go into the smoother waters while still carrying this burden, something that is not yours to carry. Hi, spiritual. Is it Couture Collections LLC? Spiritual Couture Collections? That is interesting. Then we have the world upside down with this Page of Swords, right? So if we have these two together, you're in the middle of a bigger change than I think you thought you were, Aries. So that you might have felt frustration. Not that Aries ever gets frustrated or is ever impatient. I'm laughing because I am an Aries moon with Moon Mars mutual reception, and in a square aspect. And we have a joke about how I like rip open bags or rip open or take tags off clothes or whatever. Like I'm patient with people, but I'm not patient with like, well, it's open now. That's not the way that's supposed to open. Well, it's open now. It's not my fault that everybody steals. Not everybody, but that people steal. And so like there are like padlocks on all the things when we take them home after we purchase them. Who's got time for that? I have got 5 minutes in between a reading or something else I'm doing to nourish my body, right? Um, and so like, Aries can experience a little bit of impatience. So you might have felt a little frustrated and with this because you were excited. This wasn't moving because like shit, I gotta move. This isn't like I'm changing jobs. I'm out of this relationship. This is literally like you put yourself in the boat. You were like, I get to leave that shit behind and move forward. And all of a sudden you got interrupted mid-journey. Because you're trying to take something with you that you don't need to. It's not your burden to carry. This is a bigger change than just moving out of a bad environment. Because the thing I always say about the Six of Swords is that you take your thoughts and your communication styles with you. So even if you're leaving one bad relationship to go into a better relationship, even if you're leaving a bad home environment to go into a peaceful environment, whatever you're leaving, that was the choppy, not fun stuff that probably the people that love you the most are congratulating you on moving out of that situation, right? You're taking your thoughts and your communication styles. So there is a burden, maybe guilt, maybe shame, and fuck shame. Shame has zero purpose in our lives. It may be all of that. And but it's something, or you're carrying a heavy secret for somebody. And I'm not saying, if you're, listen, I'm a Cancer with a Leo Venus, like I keep a secret like a mofo. I'm not saying you have to, but you don't have to take on the worry. There's something you're trying to take with you. It could be a physical item, could be like a monetary issue. I don't know, but you're trying to take that with you, and universe and your guides are like, hold up, lay that burden down first, because this is a bigger change. They want you to go in set up for success. You're also going to get some kind of acknowledgement, a small message, could be from listen to what children say around you right now. Or somebody that you don't think has an important role, or you wouldn't think to look to for advice. I feel like with this energy, I want to take an oracle card for each sign. But it has to be the right one. Ooh, 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 ooh. Where are those? Here they are. Colette Baron Reed. I'm a fan. I think I have an embarrassing number. I have one of her tarot, but I want to say 6 or 7. Colette Baron Reed. Um, Colette Baron Reed, Oracle cards. Okay, that just felt very like I was supposed to. Um, what is the question? Yeah, it's for whatever Aries placements. Also, sometimes you're listening to a sign where you don't think you have strong energy, but maybe you have house, you have a final dispositor. And sometimes it's just your guides will get you to the messages you're supposed to hear. But if anything dysregulates you or like it makes you feel anxiety, then it's probably not for you because I literally have the guide set up to not trigger anyone like that. Because if you're triggered by one piece of information, then you might skip hearing or might not be able to receive the crux of the thing that your guides are trying to get to you to help you through. I'm sunless. Is that how I say that? Sunsless. Sunsless. I hope I'm saying that right. Okay. The Dream Walker, collective good dreams versus illusions. You know, I'm very happy to be in Neptune and Aries. Neptune and Aries is so my vibe. It feels like putting on all my favorite clothes. Probably my leather jacket I love. um so we want we want to pay attention to our dreams that feel like they're collective good, not the ones that are illusions, not wanting somebody to be what they're not, Aries. But if you feel like your journey someplace that you were looking forward to, that you worked hard to get there, all of a sudden got truncated or interrupted, it's because you're trying to take something with you on that journey that your guides are like, no, man, you don't have to carry that burden. That's not your responsibility. It's not, right? Because like other people have to, that's their journey, that's their lesson. Oh, I said it right. Good. Okay, let's move into Taurus. Taurus. We're almost in Taurus season. Not almost, but my daughter's birthday is at the end of the month. So in my head as a planner, we're almost in Taurus season. We can celebrate all the Aries now while we're still in Aries season. Neptune and Aries, Neptune's everywhere, right? It's nebulous, it's everywhere. Neptune and Aries, and what happened yesterday and the nationwide protests. So Neptune and Aries. Neptune and Aries is like, we're not going to take it energy. It's advocation. It's not fuck shit up for the fun of it. It's not Fight Club. It is advocation. We're not going to take it anymore. Shit's about to go down. Taurus. Action instead of just thinking about it, dreaming about it, wishing it was different. What do we have for Taurus today? What do we have for Taurus? For people with Taurus sun, moon, Venus, Mars, lots of second house energy, maybe a Venusian, um, final dispositor. Okay, let's get 2 more. Or 3. Lots of stuff in transit right now. This reading too has stuff like in transit, like some parts are moving. When the world card comes upside down or the wheel of fortune, I don't mind that. I don't mind a world. It just means there's a big change. And like with big changes, we don't want to be flipped on our ass. Like we want a nice, slow transition into a really big change, whether that's an internal change or an external change, right? As Gemma from Gemstones Tarot says, like a big ferry boat turns slowly. If you've ever been on a ferry, you're like, oh, we're so close, and you think it's gonna be any minute, and then the boat takes a half an hour to turn to dock. We have the Emperor in reverse, and so here's my thing with the Emperor. I think the Emperor can be somebody who's got a little bit of ego, a little bit of control issues. Doesn't make them the villain. They have control issues, they have ego issues, probably because they have less of an ego or because everybody told them they were wrong when they were little. You know, we can understand why somebody is the way that they are. It doesn't mean we have to engage or play their games, right? But we have the Emperor upside down, and it came out. I love this deck. This is like, I want to call it the Pulp Riot because that was a hair color line. But it's the Pulp Tarot, a gift from one of my amazing community members. So we have the Emperor upside down and Queen of Pentacles, though, that is that's in the upright, and she is fierce. I'm trying to get that to like focus. There we go. So it came out like that. And this could be also like a very, like, especially with Taurus. Taurus likes to know that they can pay their bills, get the good groceries on the shelf, and have like the basic comforts. Do they like luxury a little bit? Sometimes, maybe. But you know, this might be you being able to tell somebody, I don't need your money anymore, or moving away from something that you stayed with for monetary comfort, because the Queen of Pentacles, she's my favorite queen. She's my favorite card to like say partner, because the Queen of Pentacles will build everything with you, and if it burns down, she'll help you build it back up, but she also does that for herself. Queen of Pentacles isn't great because she always has money. Queen of Pentacles, or she always has abundance. Queen of Pentacles understands she is the abundance. It's, you know, she can make more. Okay. Then we have these three that came out absolutely fucking sideways. We have the Death card in reverse, the Sun card, and the Page of Wands. The Death card in reverse means something that you said no to is on its way back. Now, these came out sideways, so I respect sideways cards personally. There's so much free will in this. You can let this thing back in, or you don't have to. There's stuff that you could, you know, look at this Sun card. Possibly one of my favorite Sun cards. Come on, focus on the little horsey guy. Playful. You're also possibly starting a new venture and have the confidence to do so. Never gonna bring me down. That's this. That's this. Taurus, you're gonna have some big choices about like who you let back in, what you decide to like, well, these things have to get done, and this is what everybody needs. And so, you know, right now is not time for play. Right now is time for work, and finding balance in that is an important thing. And it's going to be your I mean, there's obviously everybody's got free will, but this seems like a big kind of message. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Let's pull an oracle card for Taurus. You're breaking free from something and creating your own stability, though. Oh, I gotta pop out the comments. Pop them out. There we go. They're the rainbow prince. Compensation and perseverance. Yeah, fuck yeah. That confirms the reading. It's like the part of defying gravity. Where the whole thing pops off. It's me. So care to find me. Look to the western sky. That whole thing. Everyone deserves a chance to fly. And if I'm flying solo, then I'm flying free. I kept hearing the song from Wicked while those cards were coming out. That is. Woo. I don't know. Should we pull? Let's do Gemini with these, and then I'm going to change my deck. Gemini, Gemini. Sorry, guys. I know other readers are faster. I tend to get stuff in layers. All right, Gemini, Gemini. What are we getting? Everything in Gemini is upside down, which I don't think Gemini cares about. Okay, well, the wait is over. Okay, there is a falling apart here of some kind of collaboration, friendship, something. We have a 3 of Pentacles in reverse, which to me can be like you thought you were getting some kind of upgrade with like a person or a situation, but it's not as much of an upgrade as you thought. But not taking this opportunity, like trusting yourself to be like, okay, I'm not gonna lie. I told everybody like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. This person's great. This situation's great. This job is great. And then something inside you was like, oh shit. Right? Trust that. And now we have the 7 of Swords in reverse. And the 7 of Swords of me is for me is that's cheating, that's stealing, that is in this kind of a reading. This is there's only one way for me that the 7 of Swords is kind of a good thing. It's good when it's in reverse. It means you're avoiding something. Somebody wanted proximity to you, Gemini. Maybe your ideas, and then they're going to call you like flighty or think that you're not going to notice, or that you're so lighthearted that you won't care. So whatever this like collaboration, grouping, friendship, whatever is, this is a congratulate yourself on your escape. I have my it's time card though. And it's here with the Page of Cups in reverse. Like it feels like Gemini, it's interesting. Gemini, not always, but often Gemini placements don't have a childhood full of reassuring compliments and whatnot. And so they might um they might really appreciate when somebody is giving them a compliment. And like the little things would be enough for them because they're very open-minded and they see both sides of every coin and they can see both sides of everybody's argument. Um, which gives them duality and flexibility, and we need that in the world as well. But it's time for you, like whatever your better sense, like you got into something all excited, I want to think, and really thought this was going to like take you new places, and you pull back, and instead of sitting in the energy of FML, this doesn't, hi Tina, of course this happens to me, or why can't anything pan out? What you should be doing is congratulating yourself because you have officially stopped taking crumbs, and verbal no follow through crumbs, and really seeing people for who they are. Like, it doesn't matter how busy it is up in this space. Your intuition is really starting to kick in. We are no longer being anyone's doormat. Let's see what we get for an oracle. It's time. Like, this is why I only do this twice a month, because they tend to be big messages. The High Lady of Love, reverence, and kindness. Yeah. I mean, so when you get this card, and I love this deck. Is it the Well Watchers deck? I should know the names of all the decks, and I don't. I know which ones I love, and I know why I use them. When you get this card, she's a fairy. Oh, it's the not focusing is driving me crazy. This is about knowing the difference between politeness and kindness. I say this all this time, and I want to say this loud for the cheap seats in the back. Politeness and kindness are not the same thing. Friendly and kind are not the same thing. You can be direct and a little rough around the edges and very fucking kind. And you can be super friendly and super nice and polite and be very unkind. And I think that the separation of those, and Gemini gives a lot of space for people. They give a lot of space for people because they understand duality. So they don't expect people to be one-dimensional or even behaviors to be one-dimensional. Did somebody just say hi, Gibson Murphy? Hi, Gibson. Hello, love bug. Okay, I'm going to grab a different deck I'm going to grab this deck. We're going to get into Cancer. I have my good Guatemalan coffee. I'm ready for all 12s. That was too much of a. Unless you're telling me not this deck. If it happens again, then I know. And nothing is flying. Nothing is moving. Okay. Bird. That's interesting. Light seers, which means Cancer is about to get. Here's a meme that says, sit down, beautiful, about to fuck you up with some truth. And whenever I feel called, hi, Nikki. Nikki, please go to my website and hit the contact form. I was trying to like find your comments. So that I get an email and that I have your email address. I do not have your email address and I need it, please. And thank you. But whenever the Light Seers deck seems to be the one I need to grab, that's about to fuck you up with some truth. Beautiful. All right, Cancers, fourth house placements. Cancer placements. If you feel called. And listen, if you're like me and you feel like, you know, astrologically you're not Cancerian, but the Cancer readings fit, then that's fine. And if you feel like you want to listen to the sign that's assigned to your house, so like maybe you're an eighth house Cancer sun, but you really feel more called to like the Scorpio readings, that's fine too. So this is already interesting. I know you don't like to be called a crybaby. I get pissed off when people call kids a crybaby. And also, you're not a crybaby. You're a tough bitch. You're a baddie, right? Or just a baddie, whatever. There's no gender assignment, right? Whatever your Cancer placement, if you're a Cancer rising or anything else, and you're just this is your reading. We're always protective of everyone else. If you're a Cancer and you have lots of Cancer energy, you understand this. This is being so protective of yourself because you've got big things going right now. There's shit you're trying to get done, and you do not want the emotional crash. You do not want to get sucked into another situation. You do not want to fall for anyone. You have stopped in the middle of processing some stuff that you need to process. And you are in tough girl. You are crab shell. No one's getting into the underbelly, the soft, vulnerable underbelly right now. And I can't tell if this is like, what are you doing? You have to let someone in, right? The protection and the navigating life safely can't just be, I'm a crab on my own. Look at this reading. And right? The Fool, taking chances, love, all of that stuff in reverse. Then we have this very this is you are giving birth to a new project, a new world around you. You could be like, I no longer identify as the girl that tried to fix everybody or the dude that took in all the broken ones that, you know, used me as a person rehab and then went off to the bad one anyway. Whatever this is, you are like, this is a whole new me. But I also think you have some shit going on that you have like stuff to do, stuff to accomplish, because the truth of it is certain signs, certain placements, and certain people with certain placements, and we're not going to say all the placements, but certainly Cancer, we could include a little bit, can sometimes step back from what they have going in motion, even if it's like the thing that they always wanted for success, if a loved one needs them. Sometimes that loved one is a child or a sister or a brother or a really close cousin or a best friend or a parent, an aging parent. Sometimes we put everything on hold for a partner that is not our person. Sometimes the best friend isn't our person. Sometimes even a family member isn't our person. I don't think that you want to do that anymore. And you listen, you're preaching to the choir here. I get it. But you have something going on, and it is like you have Queen of Cups shut off, the Fool shut off, and the Five of Cups, which is this processing, grieving and healing whatever it was that you needed to process. Listen, I'm all for this, Cancerians, but just know that this is not sustainable. You will explode, erupt, or I mean, this is not sustainable for a moon run person or moon run placements. If you got to do this for a little while, then that's what you got to do, right? It's almost like a cleanse or a fasting, but you know, those aren't 24/7 either. What did I say? I knew the second they were like, don't use the nice cards with all the pretty pictures. Grab that light seers, because you know, about to fuck you up with some truth, Cancers. I can read the cards better, but I can't read the cards with the glasses on. Mother figure that I moved away from in the last few days. Still looking for work. I'm not sure I understand that. Let's get an oracle card. Your solar return has Mars and Cancer. Yeah. I mean, anybody from December until I want to say it's May is going to have Mars in Cancer this year. It was a long Mars retrograde. So actually anybody in like August, September is going to have Mars in Cancer. And then again, maybe November to May. So it was only in Leo for a hot second. It only got to 6 degrees of Leo before it went to retrograde. So it's so if you had a birthday this year, obviously I'm being facetious. If your birthday was, you know, before August, or oh, that doesn't even belong in here, or after late November and before this May, like yeah, which is a lot of like fighting for what we really feel and who are we protecting. Okay, the prison waif, Cancer. I don't want to read you to filth. I really don't. Self-sabotage and also poverty consciousness. So the prison waif, it's not self-sabotage, but that is what I talked about. Like, that putting yourself in your own prison of, I'm just not going to deal with people because that goes badly for me. I need to focus on myself, right? And so the next couple of months, as we finish out Mars and Cancer, which I'm glad you brought that up because that probably has a lot to do with it, you know, and that is making a sextile to the Saturn Venus. It is making a sextile to Uranus right now. And so, you know, as we finish up with that, Mars and Cancer, it's going to move a little faster now, finally. Take this next month, Cancer, to try to find just a modicum of balance of how we protect ourselves and give the energy to us, which 100% I'm in favor of, and also without fully trusting, without fully giving somebody the power to fuck shit up when you've got good stuff going. We allow the compassionate, we allow the big emotions, we allow the moon to do its job as well, and just finding that balance. Okay. Leo. Is Leo getting light seers? We'll see. You will develop relationships with your guides. Tarot's a really good way to do that. Because as you see, I went cerebrally to like, let's get this deck, because this deck will have nice messages. It's pretty to look at. Everybody likes it, right? And then my deck was like, no cards for you, not talking. Go get another deck, right? Like, you will develop relationship with your guides that you know, because there's going to be some illustration or something in this deck that it wanted me to have. Leos. All right. You're going to get Leos in the next couple of weeks. You're going to be getting a big claircognizant hit, a big download, a big epiphany moment. Again, we have, similar to Cancer, we have you protecting what you feel passionate about, is going to send you down rabbit holes. All right, I need more clarification because what I just, great, thank you, Nikki. By the way, if you guys are not all like hanging out in Lori Rivers Patreon, you should be. There's all different levels of Patreon, including a free level, I believe. So, but good stuff, good community over there. Yeah. Leo, you are going to get a hit to go check something, look at somebody's phone, check out a piece of information, or it's going to fall on your lap. Your first instinct is going to be, out of your beautiful Leo loyalty, to protect this person. And I am called to remind everybody that the amazing, incredible, beautiful God, profound Maya Angelou said to believe people the first time they show you who they are. I want you to dip into your Aquarian qualities. Everybody's got flip side of their sister sign. Yeah, you can listen to all because you could get bits and absolutely. If you want to listen to your rising, your moon, you can. Again, I'm somebody who believes that sometimes I'll watch Allie. I don't watch her as much anymore, but she'll do like an all 12 thing on a Friday. And I just don't do that because I'm working now a lot when she's live, but sometimes I just will enjoy the way she reads or whatever, that I stay and listen to the other. Aquarius isn't a detached kind of. They are not about the drama, and they are able to see things for what they are, right? And take all what it should be, and like an Aquarius moon, an Aquarius placement, an Aquarius energy, they're not about the unhealthy attachments. Like, they can be loyal, but not, listen, there's a friend that if you're going to call somebody at 3 o'clock in the morning and say, there's a body in my trunk, absolutely call your Leo. The Aquarius is going to want to know what the body did. Did it show up? Like, it's going to have questions. Not that it's not loyal, but like what is what is. And it's the blind loyalty that Leo has. And if you have a Leo friend, I tell my friend Robin all the time, she's the face I see when I think about like fucking ride or die Leo placement. If you know somebody with a Leo Venus, like, right, but also if you know somebody with a Leo Venus, they probably got burnt by some of the people they rode for. We have an Ace of Swords, a Nine of Wands, the moon in reverse, the star in reverse, and the sun in reverse. This is a case where we do not have to villainize. It might be not the end of the world, but if somebody accidentally or on purpose gives us a piece of information, a truth comes out, which to me is very much the moon card in reverse. And the instinct is to defend them out of blind loyalty. The crash won't be for that person. The crash will be for you. And you've done this before. Let's get you an oracle card, Leo. I have a child that has Aquarius moon, and once in a while he'll bring me something or do something for me. And we joke about it all the time. Like we joke with my mom and dad. And you know, I'm a Gen Xer, and my kids, there's such a huge difference in age between, I mean, they're not 20 years apart, but they are 12 and a half and 10 years apart. They were 12 and a half and 10 when my youngest was born. There's no jealousy. There's no competition. And the little one has an Aquarius moon. So we can joke like, oh, I don't have, that's like asking me to pick my favorite kid, and they'll be like, it's Liam, you know, like it's whatever, it's 5. He's our favorite too. So we will joke about that in this. You cannot joke with that child. If he brings me something and I'm like, you cannot say that to him. His immediate reaction is, you love all your kids equally. Don't say that. Don't say that. You know, you can't, he doesn't even think it's funny. Aquarius is like, it needs to be fair. You can't have blind loyalty to me because I brought you your coffee that you left in the other room. Like, this is that kind of energy is what you need for yourself, because it's not their crash, it's yours. If you, because you want, the thing is that you don't do that because you're stupid. You don't blindly aren't loyal to somebody and go, okay, you got a body, let's go. Right? And then the next day, what body? I don't know what you're talking about. Like, they will keep us, Leos are great like that. But how many times did you keep something for somebody else and then it burnt you? And again, not because you're stupid, because you just want somebody to have your back like that. So that's how you show love. We always go hard in the love language of that was not spoken in our early childhood. Somebody organically said to me the other day, okay, this is happening. How can I best support you? And I started to cry, and I'm the cancer schmancer. I'm not crying at a drop of a hat. But that is something I say to people in my life. And that's how I try to show up. How can I best support you? Not what I think you should do, not what I think you need. You tell me, well, how can I best support you in this moment? But to organically get it back, right? And that's because I gave it to myself first, and then it attracts the energy in people's. Queen of Light, illumination and enlightenment. Yeah, you're getting a big truth, and how then your free will is going to be, whether it's your crash or theirs. If somebody's behavior, you know, sometimes we make a choice. Talk about this all the time in client sessions, but like, you know, when we're putting down boundaries, what we can say to somebody is, you know, I want to be really clear about this boundary so that you're right, because it wouldn't be fair if I wasn't clear. So let me be really clear. And if you cross that boundary, I will respect that that is your choice. We don't even have to have a conversation about what the other side of that boundary looks like, because we've had this conversation, we've had clarity, right? And so I will completely respect your choice in not feeling comfortable with the boundary I set. And then we don't even have to have the conversation. Like, I will just know that you chose the other side of that boundary, whatever that is, right? So that is something. It's easy to make the boundaries, it's harder to execute. So have this clarifying conversations, which is kind of a very Aquarius thing to do, right? Watch, go look when you had an Aquarius progressed moon or an Aquarius moon in your solar return one year and look at the growth you had. Because it clears up any kind of unhealthy, like it doesn't see the unhealthy attachment. It just sees the solution. And the solution is, right? If this person had a behavior that they understood what the other side of that behavior could be, and if it's a repeated behavior, you protecting them from their consequence just means universe is going to have to give them a bigger consequence face, right? So like you're not really saving them from anything. Clarity. And if this person expects you to cover for them no matter what, then maybe that's a conversation that needs to happen about like, here are my non-negotiables. It's okay to be non-negotiable. You can be loyal as fuck and have non-negotiables. Okay. Sorry. Virgos, how my closet freaks. How you doing with the Pisces, Mercury and Venus, Pisces, Venus in retrograde, both acting like a little old Virgo in disguise. Right? Don't dream about it. Don't talk about it. Be about it. You've got the Knight of Wands in reverse, the Eight of Cups in reverse, in upright, Three of Cups in reverse, and the Devil in the upright. There is somebody fun or an F boy or an F girl that you are walking away from. It is that panty drop in, like, so the energy is so good when you're with this person that's like you want more of it, but they don't stay that long. And ding dong, the F person is getting kicked to the curb, which is great for you. Virgos tend to be fairly ethical. They are still human and they still are passionate, cerebral people. This person may have not been honest about somebody else that they're also seeing, which you don't want to be a part of, or this person could have you in your DMs having, I don't know, I don't think it might not be like a full-on like cheat, betrayal. I don't like using those words either. Like it might not even been a full crossing of lines physically, but you might have entertained conversation with them that if their energy wasn't so warm and so whatever. Now, this could also be a friend that you tend to get in trouble with, like a friend that shows up and they're fun, but then they kind of like leave you hanging. They're not responsible. And as we get older, like that's fun, but like I don't want to just like, like it's great that we have so much fun and like, oh my God, this is the best person to go out with. You make me laugh and everything else. But then like something happens real in your life and they're nowhere to be found, kind of thing. Also, there's another person connected to this person, which makes it a little bit more difficult. But, you know, the triangulation is over. You're doing the super healthy thing. It's, and I love this Eight of Cups because it's almost like, you know, here's that thing where, like, you know, in a full moon, like you burn shit in a very, very safe place or in a toilet or something. Don't have accidents in your home from trying to do burn ceremonies, but you know, they're walking away and they're burning what they don't need, and they're walking into the sun energy. So like this is great for you, Virgo. Virgo wants to be better than they were the day before. So like if you're going to be like, okay, this is some deconstructing I have to do, this is a person I have to get over or walk away from, like they're okay doing it. Once in a while you will get the Achilles heel, and I have seen that also in friends because I have a ton of friends. I had a male friend, Virgo, that was just, it was the most toxic relationship with his one ex. And not, no matter who he was with, if it was good, if it was healthy, I was like, yay, finally. Like 1 minute key in the car, and the next minute they're back together. So like any sun sign, obviously your placement is, but like you are deconstructing. Let's see what the oracle card is. I think you're deconstructing. When we get the devil, that is not I know people, and this devil is like, of course, this is like, you know, they put puppies and candy in the van so you get in, right? But like this devil, right, we can see the puppet. It's its own stress. It's self-sabotage. To me, the devil is always like just breaking bad habits. So the universe is giving you an opportunity to break your bad habits. I would say that devil card looks like Eminem in the corner, his hoodie on, cleaning out his closet. And I think that's the Desert Prince, survival, and false promises. I love an oracle card. I don't know why I don't do them more often. This I just felt really was not the plan today. Sometimes I don't plan to do it like one way or another, and I just sit, and that's what I kind of get told. I don't hear voices, but it just is like comes through me like, oh, I want to grab these cards, or okay, I'm going to do this way. Very clear cognizant. All right. Libras. Libras. Am I doing? I just did Cancer. Okay. Let's change out. What is that? All right. Maybe now I can grab these cards. We'll see. Or else guides are going to smack my hands and like, didn't we already tell you no? Maricela. Why did I just hear, you know, the everybody knows the Aaron Pierre walking down the Jennifer, the J HUD hallway, like Mufasa, Maricela. That's what I just heard. Maricela. Like, I don't know if you're going someplace where people are gonna be like, Maricela, but that's what I literally just when I read your name heard Mufasa, but I heard your name instead. They had to turn the comments off for his spirit walk down the hallway because the ladies was not well, but I don't know, ladies, men, whoever, human beings were not well behaved because of his hip moves in the comments. J HUD was like, this is a family show, okay? If you don't know, just look it up. The spirit walk, soul train down the hallway. Um, Libras. You have very listen, you just had the South Node read your stuff. right? To fill. When the South Node comes through our placements, Libras, it tends to say, do you really want to be doing that old habit? Do you really want to be doing that old trauma response? Do you really want to go back to whatever it was that had, you know, it no longer serves you? You've got that down pat. It is the very comfy pair of sweats, right? But it doesn't move you forward. It begets complacency. And so whatever good choices you made, if you're in this community, I guess, because this is your reading, this looks like a bit of reward. Three of Wands. Now, Libra does not love a Three of Wands, and I'm going to tell you why. First of all, it's a card for Aries. Second of all, it's not the card for Aries, but it is an Aries card. Okay. I'm so put off by like the backwards thing here. When I do this, I just like the settings on Zoom that like this is clear, but the back is just kind of like a soft focus. So like the eye is not going to like every book I have or everything. And I like the way the lights look and it's easy. I can share things like, right. So like, great. I can go live on Zoom now, but the backwards thing makes me nuts. Okay. So with the Three of Wands, we are choosing something and we are moving forward with the thing that we choose. She's got the one in her hand, and then the other two are left behind. So there's sacrifices to make. So if you did this, I know damn well that you ignored that South Node. You did not put on your comfy pair of sweats. And you said, I'm making a choice and I'm going to make sacrifices, and people are upset with me for the sacrifices, or the sacrifices were a bit uncomfortable, then it is what it is. But I'm waiting for the ship to come in and I am moving it forward, right? I'm embracing the energy I'm supposed to be embracing so that I have evolution, so I have growth. And with that, you get I'm just going to do it this way because I know where my face is. All right. We have Nine of Cups. Self-love. I always say, what do I say, people? I'm going to wait. I'm going to talk about the other cards. I'm going to see if somebody remembers in the comments. Tell me in the comments. What is my favorite form of Ten of Cups and why? Okay. But Nine of Cups is the self-reliance. It's self-love, it is self-esteem, and a little bit wish fulfillment. We have the next card was actually Justice, which is your card, Libra. It's a big deal when your major arcana card comes in to be like, bam, confirm, bam. This is also for Libras. This is also if you have so Venus at the top of your chart is going to give more of a Libra Venus. Just, I'm sorry, Libra at the bottom of your chart is going to give you more of, or I would even say like Eastern Hemisphere kind of bottom is Taurus, and the opposite, right? For Libra. The Western Hemisphere of your chart, which is like, you know, yeah, and the bottom is more Libran. It's that evening star. It's the subjective Venus, right? And so like if you've got that Venus placement, or Venus is like your chart ruler, your finest dispositor, you have a lot of seventh house placements, this could feel like this reading is for you. So we have Justice here. Something that's overdue for you. I think you're going to be so busy at first. I don't think you're sitting and waiting for this justice. I think you're so busy and you're so in an operation, not looking, you're so in this new place where you're not looking over the left or right to see if whatever you're doing is making anybody else happy. You are moving into interdependency rather than codependency, even where you don't feel like you were codependent, but looked at one point and went, well, maybe there's like tiny nuances of it or tiny hints of it. I'm like super proud of you, Libra. And then we get Judgment, and the Judgment card is gorgeous. This is like, oh God, the Judgment card is past, present, and future. It's like taking the lessons that you learn and applying them now, because it does create a whole new future. So like the stuff coming in that's going to come in now is a result that you made the sacrifice, and you did it without caring. You're learning the lesson between what is selfish and what is self-love, and what is we're supposed to be heart-centered and put our energy into ourselves. That is not selfish. And it seems like there was you did some uncomfortable stuff in the last 18 months. It is paying off now. There's kind of no other way to say that, Libra. This is an excellent reading for you. The High Lord of Gratitude and Service, selflessness, humility, but conscious action. And it's got a beautiful little Buddha man on him. Yeah. The enlightenment, the like understanding that you get when you make the sacrifices, when you kind of pay attention to that North Node going through your placements, or the South Node going through your placements, and choosing to do the more uncomfortable thing. All right. And may I say, those cards, we're waiting for Libra. All right, let's do Scorpio. Do, Maricela. I think it's out of my head now. Scorpio, patience. You're waiting. Whatever you're waiting for is worth the wait. Oh, I love that card. Okay. Two of Pentacles came out in reverse, but when I show you this particular Two of Pentacles, you're, oh, ha, ha, ha. Whoa, Scorpio. Okay. So there is a situation where you have to be patient. You have to be patient, right? She's very verdant. Whatever this patience is, this is like waiting somebody out. This is playing the long game, the smart game. It pays off in, like, when we see all this green, it's verdant, it's lush, it's abundant, and it keeps growing. This is something that you are planting, Scorpio, that will continue to grow. It's not like a one-time, like, here's money, don't blow it all in one kind of place deal. This situation requires you to almost, and Scorpio does this well, poker face, a little bit of stoic, a little bit of stoic. This looks like every picture of any one of my Swedish family, like every single picture. Nobody fucking smiled. They all look stoic as fuck. My grandmother, my great grandmother, like the aunts and uncles on that side, stoic. So this is gonna require you to be maybe a little poker face, maybe a little stoic. Yeah, Scorpio's creme brulee. You would prefer not to be full on asshole to anyone. But somebody crossed a line here, and so you're gonna play the long game. And it's, I want to say, when the Seven of Pentacles, when this Seven of Pentacles comes up, it's like, yes, you're waiting, but you're waiting for a good reason. And it makes me think that while it's not over tomorrow or next week, there is end in sight, because the card showed up at all. It would have been a different card. Now, this, oh my God, Two of Pentacles. I want to put it up close to the camera. That's so annoying. Did you just give me 20 bucks for being funny? No one else has to give me 20 bucks for being funny. But I gotta say, of all the times that I've gotten super chats that are like, you're such a gift and all this, like, I appreciate all that. And like, I feel like the luckiest girl in the world every day to get to do what I do. But getting 20 bucks to be funny is like top tier. It's my main in my real life. It's my main identifier. It's like you could tell me that I'm stupid or overweight or not attractive or whatever. You tell me I'm not funny, we're fighting. Like it's my main thing. Okay. That's a good idea, Kate. I don't know if it does. It's like the focus thing. Anyway, also I'm backwards and that's throwing me off. This person in this Two of Pentacles, I don't want whatever kind of balance that is. I don't want it. That is you standing on one foot with all this shit on your head. See what I'm saying? That is not any kind of balance that I want to try to maintain long term. It is upside down, Scorpio. So you this is you are done with this act. You will wait out the long game because the fuck this shit. No. And the thing is, Scorpio can acclimate to pain very easily. Scorpio doesn't like anybody who has like a lot of trauma, anybody who's had to do a lot of like Phoenix, burn shit down, build it back up, burn shit down, build it back. You are resilient. We love that. You are also, Scorpios are usually funny as fuck because it's a trauma. It's a coping mechanism. I have Pluto on my ascendant. Um, but you know, the maturing of Scorpio placements is to understand, like, oh, I have zero problem dealing with trauma and pain and uncomfortableness or having people mad at me or not getting what I want really or whatever it is. I have trouble accepting the happy, the balance, the peace. That's where I feel like, uh-oh, because that can't last. And so this could have been your natural way of balance for decades, but we are not doing that anymore. It is the only Two of Pentacles that I like to see upside down. The only one. That's why this deck wanted to wait, because I was only going to do 3 signs and then ditch it, right? Then we have the Empress. So with the Empress, this is the HBIC. I'm going to read this 2 different ways. The Empress could be you. You know what you know. And you're in a place now where you're ready to like claim that you deserve to be adored. You deserve, like, you don't have to push away people if they give you compliments. It's so uncomfortable for Scorpio placements. You can just like be in all the good stuff, right? The other way to read this is that this is who you are playing the long game to wait out. It ends with the 6 of Wands, which, as we know, is celebration. Mini wave and celebration, you win. It's victory. That's 6 of Wands. One of the nice things about a 6 of Wands is, and you are like, I'm going to eat those grapes right in front of you. Suffer, hope. Judy Tenuta. I'm really old. If you don't know who Judy Tenuta is, I'm not surprised. My mom and I loved her though. And she used to say, suffer, Pope, and she had an accordion. If you know, you know. If you know what the fuck I'm talking about, please leave me a comment because I think nobody knows who she is. But my mom and I used to like watch her on a Friday night, make popcorn and watch her. I want to say she was on VH1 Comedians when VH1 had a comedian show. Rosie O'Donnell was on there and she used to talk about individually wrapped shower gifts that were like torture. Ooh, paprika. Anyway, you win, Scorpio. The wait is worth it. We will not be doing this anymore. We will not be doing that anymore. And you can either step into this or you are telling that person, I usually like the Empress card. And it's okay to feel this good about yourself, right? It's okay to celebrate yourself. But sometimes I'm on a fence with this one. And it's interesting because I feel like we are stoic. We are done doing the balancing act. And then in this one, it's almost like there's these two figures, and they both have, if you can see, they both have their nose up in the air in the same direction. So they both, she is kind of like looking up with her nose in the air. There we go. But so is she. And she's eating grapes and be like, you wanna do nose in the air? I can do nose in the air, but I'm gonna be doing nose in the air, eating the fruits of my fucking victory in front of you. That's treat yourself. I love Parks and Rec. Judy Tenuta, I freaking love her. These cards are one of my favorites. That's why I went to go grab them before. All right, Sagittarius is getting the last read with the cards, with these cards. She was always like dressed like a Greek goddess. Jenna, she was so random, but we loved her. My mom and I used to sit there and laugh hysterical on a Friday night. And then we'd watch like Hear No Evil, See No Evil with Richard Pryor and Gene Wilder. And my brothers were older. I was probably in high school. So they were like out and about. They were in their 20s, living their real lives. And they would come home at like 1 o'clock in the morning, and there'd be my mom and I on a Friday night. We couldn't even make sounds, couldn't even make noise. Just laughing, crying, laughing. All right, Sagittarius. Let me get the messages for Sagittarius. All that Pisces stuff squaring your placements. So there's a challenge being laid down probably left and right for a while. And just when you thought it was safe to get back in the water, Mercury and Venus went back into Pisces. So because you don't mind a little Aries energy. So right now you've got the sun, right? And today you have the moon kind of in your corner. You got Cancer, Mars is quincunx, and you have all the Pisces energy squaring. So you've been getting probably some challenges and asking to get a little uncomfortable to, ooh. This is very interesting. I'm taking a fifth card. You're having this does not surprise me with all the retrogrades squaring your placements. You're getting a chance to redo a decision that you made. Three Wands in reverse is like I picked that one thing, and the thing that I picked required that I sacrifice these two things. I'm gonna allow myself to change my mind and pivot. And you're Sag, you're mutable. You can do that. This might require you to financially cut off from somebody else and then build back yourself, which I think you've done before. There's a very, I don't know if you're trauma bonding with this person or if it's just like, I see you, you see me, we get each other. I have a King of Wands, but what's interesting about this King of Wands, also there's like, that there's a time coming up where you can pick the fruit of your rewards. It's not right now, but It's interesting. It's almost like you're playing long game along with Scorpio, but you're changing things. And I think as transparent, and when I say loud, I'm a loud person. I am an Irish New York girl. But like as loud as you can be and own your stuff, like which is what we love about Sag, right? They're usually, unless they have like a fourth house sun or some other stuff going on, they're usually not a wilting flower in the corner. Especially Sag risings, they are just often sunshine when they walk in a room. Like they are the party's here now because this person's here. King of Wands, which interesting about this King of Wands is that he kind of comes off, he looks like Mr. Spreadsheet, but he's not in the sheets. He is not in real life. He is not. So like he's not giving out King of Wands, F-boy energy to everybody. And again, I may say he, because that is a he presenting person. It's genderless. I'm taking a clarifier on that. King of Wands. Motherfucker. 6 cups. Yep. Yeah, the King of Wands feels good. This might be a relationship choice that you're remaking, but I don't think it is. I think it is a life choice, and separating from something. Sag normally doesn't, depending on your other placements, maybe you do. Sag normally does not have a ton of like, you can get mad that people are thinking shit about you, but like, it's not going to stop you from doing stuff. You might not like people having this, that, the other thing to say, but like this, I gotta tell you, whether this is a friend, a best friend, a family member, or this is a romantic relationship, this feels like a love bubble. Comfort, love bubble. Somebody coming in that's just going to be like, I can wait on the other stuff. Like this feels so organically good. Whether it's soul family, soul pod, soulmate, whatever, that's this. But they're not running around when you're really into somebody and they're like, maybe nobody else can understand it, and you're like, oh, I can't even. It's like the scene from The Office. We see Michael like trying to like be funny and put grapes in his mouth, and they're like bouncing off his eye, and Holly's sitting in her interview going like, I just keep hands off of him. He's such sexual magnetism. Everybody's like, it's Michael, right? It's like that kind of vibe. Like what you two have together, the connection, and behind closed doors, or how they treat you or how they make you feel, is just for you two. And you almost like it that way because not everybody is sniffing around your partner. Because Sag is very dynamic and very magnetic and very like lively, and often they attract other people like that, and then it's like it can get complicated. This is love, and Sag likes freedom, but this doesn't feel like something you need freedom from. This does not feel suffocating at all. And this other stuff you're waiting on, when it comes in well, but it's like also reevaluating what abundance means to you. It's reevaluating what that Venus in retrograde is. Whoa. Okay. Well, that was the last good read for those cards. I'm doing what I'm doing. I know people are probably like, keep the dang cards. All right, we're doing this for these are not called the North Star cards, but that's what I think of them as. I don't know. Somewhere on my channel, there's a video where I literally go through all the cards that I have while I'm like redoing my office. I went through every box, said the name of every set. That's somewhere here. I could put the link in the comments if anybody likes a set of cards. People would ask me all the time. I'm like, I don't even know. I can't remember what this is called, which is terrible. Okay. Capricorn, we need. I'm not even going to try to read those first two. Okay, all your cards are in reverse like Gemini. Very interesting. Okay, there's somebody you need out of your way. Move, bitch. Get out the way. Get out the way. You are moving towards something just like Aries, and the journey got truncated. There's somebody you're trying to take with you on your boat. There's two people in the boat and the Six of Swords. And this Six of Swords, I love, but it's like these dolphins. Like, see how this person is asleep? It's like the dolphins and everything are like protecting the journey. And it was upside down, which means like the guides are like, hold up. And again, we have another Empress. She came out sideways. So there's either an Empress you're supposed to have on this journey and you don't, or there's somebody you gotta heave ho over the side of the boat. Capricorn. Capricorn's not a fan of people like dragging them down, but they are a little Captain Save-A-Ho. Like they will still try to help everybody. They're humanitarians, one person at a time. They parentify relationships sometimes. Because they have a no man left behind. Like people mistake that they're all about work and that, you know, they can be just focused on themselves or whatever, but they really do have like a no man left behind. They take on great responsibility for teaching people. Now, sometimes they feel like they're teaching you from the hard lesson or the good lesson. They feel like you pick that with your actions. This person used to make you feel good and they don't. I don't know if this is a friend. I don't know if this is a partner. I don't know if this is a family member. I don't know if this is a work collaborator. There's a collaboration. Somebody's got to fall out of the collaboration. There is a feeling of like, this is the happy, like this is the dream team. This is the happy family. And they started being passive aggressive. Not a good choice with a Capricorn. Right in the water you go. This interruption is to keep you from taking, because you are going someplace very good, Capricorn. You are also leaving choppy waters for smoother waters, but you are not supposed to take this other person with you. And they used to make you feel so good. Listen, hurt people. And the love bombers and the people who used to like, you know, it's never a stupid person. Like smart people can figure out where the deficit was from your last relationship. And Capricorn will tell you why their ex was a hoe, why they were an asshole. They're not protecting their ex. They're going to give you every gory detail. And a smart person who is also unhealthy will listen very carefully and extract the details of what they need to do. And, you know, flip this. If you're the person in the relationship with Capricorn, but I think this is really I feel like this person said all the right things and you thought they were all the right things, and you're beginning to realize they're starting to rely on you to do all the work in the relationship, whether that's physical work, emotional work, monetary work. You could feel like a single person in a partnership that is not, and Capricorn's happy to lead the way and do some work. But if there's zero emotional, if the emotional bank is cleaned out and they're doing the majority of the work, and I think this is being more and more painfully obvious. More and more painfully obvious. But it's not you. I mean, they were very purposeful. Capricorn often likes a smart person. They listened to the deficits and filled them in the beginning until you were sold. And I say that all the time. One of the more destructive relationships to my mental and emotional state was somebody who listened well and then figured out where the deficits had been in the previous relationships. And they weren't going to talk about it. They were going to be about it. And because I had always taken somebody's word for what they wanted it to look like, for what they were going to do for me, and then, then was surprisingly disappointed when they didn't follow through, when they had given me no clue that they would, old unhealed version of me. We love her. She took a lot of hits, but I can laugh at it's like was so obvious. But then this one, they were doing things before I was in a relationship with them. They were doing the thing. They were letting me know, you will never do that. You will never struggle. You will never have this. I will always show up. We're going to be very public. We're this, that, the other thing. And they did all the things to convince me, because I was not easily convinced at this time, right? Because I was like the Cancer from our Cancer reading, where I was like, well, yes, I'm going to have fun with my friends and, hang out with my girls, and that can all just go on a shelf. They did that long enough until I was so hooked, and then it all stopped. 3 to 6 months is when we're seeing the real person. And somebody who knows how to stroke and fill the deficit, as smart as we can be, and as much as we can know that information, those are the people that are very good. So don't be hard on yourself over this, Capricorn. But yeah, you gotta throw that person right off the boat that is taking you to the better place, because they don't deserve to go there with you. Let's get do we take community, did we take an oracle for Sag? I'm gonna take an oracle for Capricorn and wait for an answer. Was I so blown away by Sag's reading that I did not take an oracle card? Reflection and non-judge. You're the person you're not supposed to judge, Capricorn. Did I skip? I don't feel like I did an oracle card for Sag. I'm gonna do one now. Then we just have Aquarius and Pisces. This was a long one. It'll be time stamped. I have incredible community members who can have my kidneys or anything else that they want, because they are always there with the timestamps, which is invaluable. They know who they are. They email me while I'm in my last reading, so I have it right away. Yeah, no oracle for Sag. Okay. Flow and letting go. And we got 2 for Sag, and it's trust. Yeah, flow, letting go, and trust. I just saw a video. I think I sent it to one of my friends, and it's me trusting the process right now. And it was a car. There's a name for it, and you're all going to make fun of me, and I'm totally okay with that. it wasn't just a tow truck, but it's the kind of truck that has other cars like in two different layers in the back behind it. Um, and it's going under like a metal bridge, like a metal overpass bridge. And it's older cars, but it's like literally makes it by an inch, but it's still going. And the whole time you're watching it, you're thinking you're going to take the top of that truck right off. But then, like, woo, trust the process. The road was going down, right? And you couldn't see it. Incredible. And I'm just like, sometimes it's like that, though, right? And I think that's where Sag is right now. You got to trust this process. This person's coming in, and you got to trust the process of being able to remake your decision. You got to trust the process for like whether it's financial separation or waiting for stuff to build back up. Thank you, Juan. Yo, my kidneys are good. I'm convinced of it. My kidneys and my liver. Um, I'm pulling the oracle first for Aquarius because it's Aquarius, right? Ideas preserved. I'm not going to read the other things on there, and then now we're going to grab the cards. And this is what I'll do at the end of this. My Astro dice here. Yes. All right. I'm going to roll Astro dice after Pisces. Maybe I will roll it right before Pisces, after Aquarius. And whoever gets the guess right, you can ask me a question, I will pull a card. All right, so not a whole reading, but you can ask me a question and I'll pull, like, not a whole 15-minute reading, but I will live, you can ask me a question. So stay to the end, please, because I'm going to give away I'm just rolling with the homies. I'm just rolling. The homies are my guides. You want the left or the right kidney? Yeah. I'm Irish. I grew up around a lot of people that struggled with some things. That wasn't really like, and I married my prom date, who was diabetic and could not drink. So then I wasn't drinking in solidarity. Then I was like pregnant and had kids. There's a reason I'm telling you all the story. So suffer popes. And God, if you didn't watch the beginning of that, you will have no idea why I just said that. And then I was like pregnant. There was 2 kids, but there was 3 pregnancies. So I was pregnant a long time, and then I like was nursing and all that other stuff. And then I was like a young, I was a mom. I wasn't going out. So while if you want to go have knockback tequila, I'm have held my own on occasions. Now I just don't, not interested. Don't even drink a glass of wine. Though, and I'm a fairly healthy eater now. I don't even like Advil. I said no to the extra drugs when I had C-sections and went home early. I mean, these kidneys and that liver, I could get pretty penny on the black market, but I would, if I had a helmet, I would give it to you, Juan. If you don't know that song and you don't love Macklemore, Get on that, please. Yeah, but Juan, I would give them to you. You could have all my internal organs. Aquarius. Shauna, you came up. You picked a heck of a time to come back. Talking about my internal organs. One more for Aquarius. Death in reverse, something's going to try to come back, or you want it to come back. The World and the Queen of Pentacles, whatever, maybe you want it to come back. This reading is, and the Fool in reverse. May have choked Artie, but it's not going to choke Stymie, is what I just heard, which is an old little rascals when they try to get the kids when they're in the old little rascals. They like live in a residential whatever. I don't know if it's an orphanage or whatever. But somebody tries to give Stymie an artichoke, like a raw artichoke. And he looked at it and he said, it may have choked Artie, but it's not going to choke Stymie. And that is relevant because you're doing really well here and you're thinking about letting somebody come back, but you're not like fool me once, like you can see through something that somebody doesn't want you to see through, but you are Aquarius, you're kind of the prize to be had. I wonder if you know that. Got the World card here and the Queen of Pentacles, which is like, again, it's like you don't need, it's interdependence and abundance, but without any kind of like poverty consciousness, or without the Queen of Pentacles just exists and understands that like if it goes away, she built back up. There's like no fear around abundance, which is why she is so abundant. But I have the Fool card in reverse, Death card in reverse. You have 3 major arcana. This is not something small going on. 3 major arcana and a court card. And the oracle, which we pulled early because I felt called to do that, is the ideas preserved and entitlement is the shadow side of that card. And all of a sudden my nose is itching. Aquarius, somebody's been real nice. They are real, they're being really nice. And if you don't give them what they want, you're going to see another side of them. They feel entitled. Ooh, they feel entitled to something. They feel entitled to something that they are not entitled to. And you're like, the thing is, Aquarius is not about the drama. So like they get called cold or detached because you're like, and oh my God, and this blah, 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 blah to an Aquarius. Not that people aren't allowed to cry in a boat, but you know, like the dramatic kind. And they're like, how do we get to the solution? I don't want to have a 5-hour conversation about what this person continues to do wrong and you don't break the cycle, right? You continue to let them in. I don't want to have another 5-hour conversation about you will not believe what they did this week. I believe it. That's a sign. That's a thing. My nose is always very. And I've got the doors closed too, so the cats haven't even been in here. And I'm splitting the deck and grabbing it. 5 of Swords in reverse. Yeah, you're not fighting this person's battles. You're doing very well. You're not jumping. It's like you're not being sold on the story. That's the thing. If you come to an Aquarius placement with like this grandiose story, not that they live off brevity, because they're interesting. They can have lots of conversation that takes dips and turns, and but not just for the drama, not for the like, let's what can we extrapolate of the emotional manipulation of the situation. If somebody just wants to sit in the shitty emotions and then says, thank you, sir, I'll take another, and please don't use lube, they're not going to want to sit and have that conversation with you. That is what's called an asshole, somebody that constantly comes to you and wants to take 5 hours out of your time, and but does not want to actually really change anything. They just want to tell you about why you should feel bad for them, or why they're a victim, and why you should help. They feel entitled to something of yours. That part I can't seem to get at. I keep looking at the Ace of Swords over here, which flipped upright on the top of the whole deck. I'll just show you the whole deck. You can see the backs of the cards, but this is had flipped upright on the top. So like, you know, and you're not insensitive, Aquarius. It's not about that drama. You're about solutions. And a lot of times, because Aquarius is so solution oriented, okay, let's parse out the facts, right? And find you a solution. But so people who kind of always manage to have a problem, nothing's ever going their way, this is always happening to me, will find the Aquarius, because in the beginning they will invest in finding the solution. But once Aquarius catches on that you're actually not interested in the solution, then they're not actually interested in having another 5-hour conversation about it. And that's when they get called detached. Cold pisses me off. They're not detached and cold. They got shit to do, and they don't have another 5 hours for the same conversation. Preserve yourself and ignore people who feel like they're entitled. Like, non-action is also on this card. Like, at this point, the Ice Queen, you have to not, as long as you keep feeding. Do you ever go to one of those petting zoos? They used to have this at the mall in New York. They would have a petting zoo in the center of the mall. It was like stairs going down. It was like a backwards arena, right? So instead of a stage with stairs going up, with stairs going down, people would sit and get their snacks from all over and sit and eat. Once in a while, there would be like a fucking petting zoo in the middle of the mall, and it was just like goats walking free. And it would be like, oh, you fed a goat, and then they're eating your bag, because like the big brown bag was Macy's kind of thing, or was that Bloomies? I don't remember. But like, they would be eating your bags, because all the bags were paper back then. And that goat that you gave like 2 of those little goat pellet food things to would not leave you alone. And that is like, now the petting zoo is not enjoyable. It's eating the stuff I just bought, and it won't leave me alone, and I just want to have my Sbarros. Okay. And that is what's happening here. My God. All right. I am going to roll for a free card pull. Might be 1, might be 2. It's however many cards. And in New York, of all places, just goats walking around the fucking mall. All right. So this is Aphrodite. This one has planets, and this one has like 1 through 12, like the houses. So I'm going to roll and it's going to be its own combination. Your job is to take a deep breath, ground, try to connect with the dice, a little bit me, but mostly the dice. You don't really want to connect with me too much because my Gemini Mercury is like, so it might not be focused on them, but try to focus on the dice. I will be thinking 12 other thoughts at the same time. I am a multitasker. So it's going to be a planet and a house. So like Venus in the third house or the sun in the ninth house or whatever it's going to be. It's going to be whatever combination. And then whoever gets it right first. Okay, I'm not moving anything. Oh, that is interesting. I will have to tell my friend later how interesting that is. Okay. You can start guessing. We're guessing like a planet in what house. So it's either going to be Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, or Pluto. And it's going to be in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12. Planet and house number. And then I will do Pisces. I will start to pull the cards for Pisces and do the reading. And then I will come back to and see if anybody has it halfway through Pisces. I will let you know if no one has it yet. Okay, Pisces, my lovely Pisces. And then I will do the free card reading for Pisces. This is interesting. Oh, there's two. Okay. Maricela, you are silly. Okay. Did you just get that song, Shauna? Shauna is a Pisces rising, and like a lot of her messages come through songs. Okay, I'm just double checking to see. This probably isn't much help. Some of you got the planet and some of you got the house. Nobody's gotten it yet. Okay. Pisces again. No fighting, no fighting. We're not fighting. This is very interesting. You're not fighting. You're the Queen of Wands right now. This gorgeous, gorgeous Queen of Wands. This is you. Also feel protected. And you know it. You're protected and you know it. Something that you're tired of feeling like work that shouldn't feel like work. It's again, there's a lot of like we have two major retrogrades, and they are in your sign. There's a lot of like, hold up, let me check before I keep moving in this direction, that nothing has to be adjusted. And the mutable signs do that the best, and you are mutable. You're overly taking care of somebody. And I think at some point it's what you thought you wanted. I'm doing it again where I'm taking another. Yeah. Yep. You have been almost babying somebody because you can feel their pain. Of course you can, you're Pisces. You can understand, you've gone through a lot. So you have enormous amounts of empathy as Pisces does. So like this person came in with this, like, everyone's mean to me. And you really felt for them, but it got to be at a point where you were babying them and kind of like, it was so much work. There's an opportunity coming your way. You are feeling good. And all of a sudden it's becoming, listen, when Pisces feels really energized and good, right? Which probably means you're doing your spiritual hygiene, which you absolutely fucking should. Hold on. I'm looking to see. If anybody got it yet. Still no. Still no. Keep going, y'all. It's a planet and a house combination. So Pisces, like, we have this like Eight of Pentacles in reverse, which means something has to stop being as much work. This is you right now. And this is like, I feel like you're very protected. There's lots about animals here. But like, we have this like bear. This is the this is the 10 of Wands, you putting down what is not yours. That's like, Aries got the same thing. It's like we're bookending the readings. You're supposed to be putting down something. This is you though. You're the Queen of Wands right now. This person is also triggering the old version of you that you have healed from. And it's like, just when I think I'm out, they pull me back in, and they're triggering and they're not choosing. Like, think the version of you, gosh, I even want to say 2 years ago, but definitely like, 5, 10 before, would have sat with somebody and been like an energetic tennis game with like, oh my God, yes. And then they did this. And then I was victimized by here. And like, and truly these things happened. But you would sit and talk about the energy and commiserate and like, yes, some like the good people always get shit on and blah, 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 blah. But you've healed quite a bit of that. You have boundaries now. It's a little harder for you to watch this person do what you used to do. And you've noticed where you felt really energized, because in the beginning, I think that you felt like you could help them, be a good example, be a kind, soft, compassionate place for them to land. And now it just feels like it's draining. You've begun to notice that you have less energy to do the things that you have to do, and that you have opportunities to do when you deal with this person. And their stuff is not your burden to carry. Ooh. We're going to pull an oracle, but first I just want to check. Gibson, you're not wrong. All right, I will tell you this. It is not, before I pull an oracle card, it's not 1 through 7, right? And it's not a personal planet. Bye, Nikki. You'll hear from me in a little bit. Let me pull the oracle for Pisces and let's see if we get a winner. The dream walker came out again. Dreams, the collective good, and illusions. What is an illusion and what is a dream? And like your dream is what you can put Queen of Wands energy to, but the illusion is that this person is going to grow the way that you grew. I feel like you can give them the tools, you can lead by example, you can try to talk to them, but they're not ready to hear it. And that's not a failure on your part. And I feel like I need that to say that to Pisces. That's not a failure on your part. It isn't. This is hard for Pisces to be like, I got to cut you loose. I can't help you anymore. It's a little easier for Aquarius, but it's, if you feel Pisces, if you have Pisces placements, if you have 12th house placements, and you feel like that reading might have been for you, I am telling you right now that if you notice that you feel really drained after talking to somebody, if you're with somebody who's like, you could talk to somebody for 5-6 hours and almost feel more energized when you're done talking to them, or you can't sleep, that is not somebody who's draining you. And that might have been what it was in the beginning. But if you're done, if you're drained after talking to them, then that is your guides, that's your clue. Okay. Shauna, you can email me or whatever what you think it is before I say what it is. Shauna is crazy psychic. And I know she's holding back guessing because so the other people, we used to have somebody in this, my hand went up. We used to have somebody in this group that it would be like, okay, you can't guess anymore, because she would guess in the first 2 guesses. Okay, I think I saw it. Hold on. I think we have it. Yep. Let's see how many people guessed it in case it was more than one. Okay. You can stop guessing. Gibson got it. It's Saturn in the 12th. And it was funny because she was like, it's something in the 12th. It's something in the 12th. So I already kind of knew she was close, but it is. And I will just show you. That's what rolled out. Well, that always happens. I swear it was. So it was Saturn in the 12th. If you guys can see that, that's what came out. So go ahead, Gibson, and ask your question. And again, why I keep saying to lower my hand, it keeps putting my hand back up. And again, in there's like a $3 level of membership. You get all the videos, you get all the like learning series stuff. I do charts for members, like for like eclipses and stuff like that. We do that. But also while there's only for nerd and gratitude, like you can ask me anything and I will give you like a little 3 to 5 minute reading or look at your chart. You asked the question right here. It's a live card pull. But I will just do like card pulls. I will do like a member thank you live where it's just card pulls for all the levels. I have to redo. I'm learning. The membership is 18 months old as of May. So I'm learning what works and what doesn't work with both my health and my energy and my schedule and what people like and don't like, really. So I have to make a new like welcome to membership because we're not doing as much tarot anymore. It's a lot of astrology. That That's amazing. So the question is, so you're selling like, uh, do you want to know, if you should make that like your main? So I mean, I've been telling you for well over a year that you should find like a small local gallery. The small readings aren't so small. Thank you. Well, a lot will come through. If we're all connected, then a lot can come through in two cards. A lot can come through with no cards. But like Gibson and I have had readings in the past. We haven't had one in a while, but whatever I want to ask about, do you want me to just like pull like what do your guides want you to know right now? Like the more specific your question, the more detailed I can get an answer, but I'm happy to just pull whatever your guides want. I don't want to use this deck now, though, now that that's what we're doing. I want to use this one. I know this is called Good Tarot. I had a feeling the minute she started saying it's something in the 12th, I had a feeling she would get it. Those are good intuitive. I like to do the Astro dice too because it's good intuitive practice for you. I wonder if it should be mixed media. All right, I can ask a yes or no on that, but let me just ask because I'm already now said the intention for what the guides want you to know. 9 of Cups, feeling independent and feeling having other people have less control over your self-esteem. There's King Cups in reverse. Somebody is either, I'm hearing contrition. So somebody is either going to come with an actual heartfelt apology and realize that they were kind of being a dick. That is the message. But this is somebody who used to be like, look how magnanimous I am. Look how generous I am. Look how great I am. And they're either stumbling because no one else is buying it, but you're probably the first one to be like, that's not authentic. So they're either crumbling a little bit or like the facade is like falling off. Or they're actually going to come to you. Keep hearing the word contrition. Let me ask Pendulum whether you should stick with acrylics. So it'll just be like a yes or no. All right, so that is like you are in charge, like you're fully aware that you are in charge of whatever. I've been thinking that too, Susie. Wow. Yeah. It's funny because it seems like a very patriarchal person. I'll show you the card. It's like major childhood healing too, kind of breaking free from that whole thing. Okay. Can you all see? So I'm always like leaning, it's a lavender one. Should I grab a different one so you can see it better since I'm wearing lavender? Okay, the onyx one. Okay. I just love these. So, um, ooh, so I've got my arm rested. And this is at a stop. I haven't used this in a while, so I'm just gonna calibrate it. Is my middle name Murgatroyd? It's a Bugs Bunny reference. No. Did I have a pet name Trouble? Did I have a pet that was named Trouble? Okay. Thank you. Thank you. You could stop. Thank you. Should Gibson just stick with acrylics? I'm supposed to ask a different question, honey. The question wasn't asked the right way. Should she get into mixed media? Yes. Okay. Should she be doing something else with is it not the paint, but the like what she's painting? Should she change what she's painting more than the medium she's using to paint? Yes. I had a cat named Trouble when I was very young. He was very special. I don't think I've ever talked about him on this platform. I've got a lot of animals in my past. Yeah, so the minute I asked, should you just stick with acrylics and it wouldn't move at all? That means the question I'm not asking the right question, so they're not able to give me just a yes or a no. And then immediately should you get into mixed media was like a small yes, so it wasn't like a big swing the other way. And then it just occurred to me, I'm asking the question, there is more detail, and that it's not that you're supposed to switch or not stay with acrylics or stay with acrylics, but like what you're painting on. So maybe not just canvas. And that could be, I'm thinking about your placements right now and the readings. That could be part of like waiting for the abundance and like breaking free from someone who maybe used to hold power over you financially. So it could be something where you have like cathartic outlet and that you like to paint whatever else that you end up. I think the creativity idea is, yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. I almost see you like painting things that people would like be like, oh my God, I want that in my home, but not as a painting, like as a sentimental thing. It feels like you're painting things that people like possibly for their kids. You're so good with kids and young energies also, and you have that like young spirit, playful energy, but I just feel like you're painting something. They're showing me, I don't paint the way you paint. But when I was 28, I want to say it was like Price Club, which would be like Costco, had a whole bunch of these like toddler rocking chairs. Like you couldn't put a baby in it because a baby would have slid out, but like it would be hard for a 6-year-old to fit into. It was like toddlers. And we had a whole bunch of brand new babies in the family, and I hand painted with their names, but like all the things that they loved all over these rocking chairs, and everybody still has them. So I don't know it's the rocking chairs, but that is what they're showing me, which makes me think there's some connection that like you paint something and you love painting it, but also it just becomes like everybody wants one. And it is very financially. So I don't know if it's like painting on mixed media, but it's just mixing up. I don't think it's a medium that you're painting with. I think it's what you're painting on is what I heard. Like the canvas is not just canvas. All right. Woo! We went 2.5 hours, kids. So thank you for anybody who stayed the whole entire time. That's fucking amazing. And this will be heavily timestamped. Give me 5 minutes to get the timestamps on. I love you, know you love you. And yeah, if you're a member, make sure you're looking in the member tab. I think all the new members have filled out their forms. We're going to get you your stuff in the next 24 hours. I'm revamping because the membership is growing so quickly. So we're revamping, and I have somebody helping. I have two people helping, actually. They each have their own stuff. And creating new organization. You laughed, you cried. That's great. And thank you again, Gibson, for the $20 for being funny. I'm probably going to tell everybody in my real life about that, especially people who compete about being funny or funnier than me. I'm completely obnoxious about it in my real life. My kids even know, like, if you want to really hurt me, tell me I'm not that funny. It's a joke in the house. But yeah, so sorry, membership, I digress. Membership is Wednesday evenings, Saturday afternoons. The replays are always available on the membership tab. And that's it. And the gratitude level comes with everything the nerd level comes with, but you get one email question a month. And stop it. You didn't even have to do that. It was just, I mean, you were funny doing that. But the gratitude membership, just to clarify, comes with everything the nerd membership comes with, which is all of the perks, right? And then on top of it, you get one email question a month. It can't be 5 paragraphs, and you can't ask me to look at a month full of transits or ask you, like, when I think love is coming into your life or whatever. I could do a quick reading on that. It's not going to be as accurate as that's like a whole astrology reading. I trust everybody knows the difference between like an email question and a full like half an hour astrology or tarot read. But you get one, and you get discount always on top of any metaphysical appointments, and you can use them if I'm running any other. I probably run a birthday sale on them, just the metaphysical, because astrologically I book over at Awake Space. Unless Poppy and Lilac, and if Poppy and Lilac means anything, then if you know, you know. But yeah, so that's it. Wednesdays and Saturdays are membership, and two people had asked about what the real difference was with gratitude. So that's what it is. You get discount on all metaphysical. You can use it even if there's a sale. You get one email question a month, and then you get all. And then if you have gratitude level or nerd level, I aspire to 8 membership a month. Sometimes it's 4 or 5. You get promised at least 4 membership videos, but sometimes there's 8. And so if you're nerd in gratitude, there's never a video that you don't have access to, because those are the 2 top levels, but that's the extra that you get with the gratitude. Okay. Oh, that's wonderful. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. Lovely. Okay. All right, everybody, have a great week. I'll see you next Sunday. And if you're in membership,